Good evening. Welcome to the 12-Man podcast. Apologies in advance. You got me, Steve Jackson. I'm your host for the evening. We're going to talk. We're on Facebook. We're on the Reds. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon, Apple. All the good places to hear our ranting. As I said, you got me, Steve Jackson. I'm your host for the evening. Mr. John Donovan's with me. Evening, John Don.
No, then you're okay.
I'm good. Injury update. How are you doing?
Slow recovery. Still got my leg elevated in a brace. All my staples have been removed. Got a lovely looking scar. Just waiting now. I've got another visit to the hospital in about 10 days' time. And hopefully they'll give my knee a little bit more flexibility by increasing the degree rating on the brace that I'm wearing, and a slow recovery, but at least I'm free from pain.
I was going to say,
I'm free from physical pain.
And you don't have to rush back for the playoffs either, so there you go. At least that's one thing we don't have to speak about. But we'll talk about that.
Steve, never give in. Never give in. Never give up.
What I want to do is clip that and we'll show that into our dressing room. Never give up. I'll talk about that a bit later. And also, we've got Mr. Jacob Jervis with us. Evening, JJ, you all right?
Evening, you okay?
Oh,
good, yeah.
Dream, mate. Living the dream. So, we're going to talk about Swansea. How a 20-hour trip ruined my life. We're going to talk about how we played, how we didn't play. Yeah. And then we'll preview tomorrow night. We've got QPR and we'll preview Luton Town on Saturday. But before we start, are we both all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, thanks, yeah. Could be better. Could be better, but yeah, all okay.
Keep that thought. So one thing we're going to talk about a little bit later. John Don put this out on X earlier, where subsequently you can watch our podcast if you really want to. The link will be put up there. If you could choose just one Borough player, past or present, to be held in this team, final 10 games of the season, who would it be and why? We're going to answer that ourselves a little bit later on, but get your thoughts in. Let us know what you think, and we'll tell you how right you really are. So, yes. Right, Swansea. Obviously, missed the pair of yous on Saturday, badly. I was up at 4 a.m. Saturday morning. I imagine Carrick and the team weren't, but I was. Made a long journey down. Long journey. I mean, I sat there, I thought it was a good 6-7 hours in. I looked at me watch, it was 8:30. I was like, oh God, we're not even halfway. Jesus. So, we got there. Obviously, did you sort the pub beforehand, John?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I had to ring them because you had made good time.
Jason made good time, not us.
Yeah, well, yeah, you as in collectively. Yes, so they opened at 12, so I thought that's what roughly you'd be getting into Swansea around about that time. But when I got a call saying, can you ask the pub to open slightly earlier, I had to do that, and thankfully the guy said, yep, I'll get a couple of barmaids in early because you made good time on the road. So yeah, you had a pretty trouble-free journey down there, and an earlier start in the pub than you anticipated.
Yeah, we did. It's a massive thanks to the guys and girls at the Deer's Leap. I think I've got that right. Really hospitable, really lovely people. We say we've been there before. They're lovely people. Yeah, really, really good. So, team comes out. We're getting back on the bus, 2:00. Team comes out. Start with you, John. You see the team?
Yeah.
I was pretty much expecting that team because of, obviously, Ailing's injury. Brad's still not right. George is still not back, probably not till the national break. So I expected Borgia to come inside, Giles to start out wide. But that team was about right for what I thought was going to start. What about you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we spoke last week about Bergzorg being unfortunate not to start games, but also the fact that during the latter stages of games, he seems to be sort of like he's not burnt himself out, but he's shown signs of being tired because he's fairly dynamic in the way he plays and plays in short bursts and it's energy tapping. So yeah, I think that team was probably what most of us expected.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, you mentioned Bergzorg there. We did speak about it last week. Our lovely guest Sarah spoke about last week. Who, by the way, she was absolutely fantastic, wasn't she? She was brilliant last week.
Yeah, I got. Sorry, I got quite a few messages. To say that they enjoyed the guest and how she offered a different perspective. So yeah, it was good. I'm sure that sometime in the future we'll get her back on.
Absolutely. I'll echo that. I thought she was brilliant. She's added to the conversation really well. She had really good points. It showed that anybody can come on. Doesn't matter if it's your first time, 50th time, doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome.
The fact of the matter as well, Steve, is she goes to every game, so exactly. She feels it as much as everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. She was there on Saturday as well. Didn't manage to catch up with her, but I did see she put a lovely picture up. She even apologised for the bags under her eyes. Don't worry, we all felt it. We absolutely all felt it, so don't worry about that. Jacob, when you saw the team, what did you think?
Yeah, it was about what I expected, really. Obviously, naturally disappointing not to have another centre half fit to pair along Fry. But again, I'm sure we'll go into it later on, but that didn't prove to be the issue anyway in the game. And Borges had a good game for me in centre back.
Yeah, he did. I'll talk about Borges a little bit later. So I thought he really was a standout on Saturday, despite the absolute shower that I watched. But that's as far as I'll go with the expletives on that one. But game starts. Obviously, you had a bit of a different view to me. You've got a bit more of a, I suppose a dynamic view because you get a bit of where the action is more than the whole pitch. One thing I noticed straight away, because you mentioned it, Jacob, didn't you? How the three behind the main man is like a fluid three. It's supposed to be a fluid three. My big question is, at what point did Morgan Whittaker think it was a good idea to mark Marcus Force?
Yeah, I just honestly, I understand, like we said it. I'm sure if you asked Michael Carrick to explain it, it would be this. The three behind the striker. To interchange and move around each other. But to me, there's still the whole principle and purpose of that still is to end up with somebody left, right, and still in the 10th. But what we found, like you said, is they either weren't doing it very well or they were being stubborn. You don't know what it is. And you'd find maybe two over on the right, and then we wouldn't have an out ball to the left all the time. Someone would drift in, or sometimes you wouldn't have somebody in the 10. It was very messy, and I think that contributed to the reason why our front four just weren't in the game at all. Morris was seeming to be getting the ball, and he was being criticised for going backwards a lot. But I'd argue, well, what did he have on to go forward? Because nobody seemed to be getting themselves into very good positions.
Yeah. There was a lot of discontent in the away. As you imagine, obviously, it goes going backwards a lot because we did see him. We are going back. But you're absolutely right. Going forwards, I felt so sorry for Conway. I really did. He looked so isolated. John, one thing that was mentioned to me during the first half, Whittaker's a luxury player. He's someone, when you're 2-3-0 up, he's perfect. because he can spray the ball, he can pass where he wants. There's no pressure. When you 0-0, 1-0 down, you need a bit of something. You need a bit of grit, a bit of balls about you. People question it about Whittaker. What's your take on it?
I think when we signed him, we were told from some Plymouth fans on social media that he's not a grafter. He probably falls into the description you've just mentioned of him there, a luxury player. Not so much as in if we lead in, he shines. It's just that when a fight is required, he's not the type of man to be in the game for a fight. We were told that, and yes, he doesn't look as though he's got battle in him. He's a gifted player, although Saturday was a poor, very poor performance from him and others, by the way. But before Saturday, he'd started to look comfortable and maybe look. There was signs of improvement, but on Saturday, it wasn't his game. I don't know whether going back to Swansea had put him off. I mean, Swansea weren't particularly aggressive. I mean, I didn't see a great deal in that Swansea team that worried me at all in the opening exchanges. They were as wasteful as us. It was an error-strewn start to the game, and nobody really sort of took the game by the scruff of the neck and dominated. It was two poor teams.
It was two poor teams. When I think I was stood there about 20 minutes in, and I thought, just reminds me of an end of season game. Nothing too much happening. I mean, big mouth for me. As soon as that happens, we gave the ball away. Passing of the Red Sea. I've never seen anything like it. The finish, I won't take anything away from the finish. It was great. I can't defend how we just backed off and backed off and backed off when a player's running at you, was knowing exactly where he's going. It was beyond belief. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. No blame was put on Travers. Nothing he could do. Absolutely nothing he could do. You're looking at how he's lost the ball, and I couldn't get my head around it.
Yeah, that's right. We lost the ball, and then Hackney was tracking back behind Eon. And previous to that, Hackney had put stupid little challenges in, or pullbacks, or he'd given quite a few free kicks away already. Nothing free kicks really, and that was the time to take a card for the team. That was the time to sort of like put the challenge in there, but make sure the man didn't go any further. But he sort of like he tracked him back, but not with purpose. And then once the Swansea player got into a decent position, the two challenges from the centre backs, well, they were powder puff really, and it was a good finish. But like you say, he was given all the time in the world to move forward, move into a dangerous position, and had plenty of time to line his shot up. It was a terrible goal to concede. That came from our sloppiness.
It did. It really did come from our sloppiness. Jacob, you said you watched the game and you watched the highlights back. I mean, wow, you put yourself through that. I really don't know, because even I haven't watched that back. But if I remember the goal right, I mean, bear in mind, I wasn't 100% with it. I was influenced. I just feel like he must have ran a good 30, 35 yards. Unchallenged, untroubled. He had time to pick his spot, pick where he was going to pick his spot from, and how he was going to do it. I just couldn't believe the time space that the guy got. We literally just parted the ways and went, go on then, have a crack.
Yeah, I think it kind of epitomised Borough as a team this season. That goal, almost waiting for somebody else to go and make the challenge, or somebody to go and press the ball. As John was saying, Hackney did a quite half-hearted job of it. Our centre backs didn't exactly think, right, well, what he's got a free shot on goal here. Is one of us going to step out and try and block the shot, or are we gonna sit and try and block from a distance, which is obviously more difficult to do. So no, I just think it sums us up as a team, kind of trying to pass on responsibility even mid game. Yeah, and even if throughout the first half and the second half, the amount of times we were playing out from the back or trying to and failing again and just keep repeating the same thing. Yeah, I think it just a bit as a whole game and a lot of our games this season. And yeah, it was another really disappointing goal to give away.
It really was. I can't disagree with any. I really can't. I was absolutely flummoxed with what I was watching. I was so disappointed. It really hurt seeing that first goal because it looked like we just had nothing like we. People are putting it in the comments as I'm reading them now. We've got nothing. No one in the team that's got a nasty streak. Someone that is capable of going. You know what? I'm just going to take the other card here. I'm just going to take that, and we move on. We keep it 0-0.
Well,
I was struggling with it. I was.
Hackney's always going to get himself a yellow card because he just gives away stupid free kicks time after time. And it's only a matter of time before, on accumulation, the referee's going to have enough of him and just say, there's your card. He hadn't got one at that point. He should have took one there. I'd have been, if I was his teammate, I'd have run up to him and I'd have been screaming in his face, what on earth are you doing? I would have used different language though. What on earth are you doing there? He should have bust a gut to get level or close to Eon and brought him down. It's as simple as that. It's about doing your bit for the team, and if that means getting yourself a card to prevent your team going behind, then you do it. But again, Jacob mentions about the indecision from the two centre halves. Neither of them closed him down. And if you look at the goal again, there's a perfect gap between the two of them. That the shot just went between the two of them, straight past Travis. It was easy. He's a professional footballer. Giving him that time and space without a great deal of pressure on him, he's going to find the target. And it was a poor goal to concede, and that gave us a big job to come back.
Yeah, I mean, we said, didn't we, last week, the first goal was going to be critical on Saturday. It really would have been, and honestly, the goal seemed to I wouldn't say knock the life out of us, but I think someone told me first half we had 68% possession. We were comfortable. They weren't pressing us. They weren't pushing us, and it just felt like as much as possession's good, we did nothing with it. We were just side to side.
Yeah, I'd argue in what areas, in what areas did we have the ball? What in our own penalty box for 20 minutes of the game? Yeah, we were just messing around with it, really. There wasn't much. I think what I'd call it, if I can sum it up, is possession without purpose. There was nothing. Yeah. There's no forward balls or pace on the passes. It was very much, we've got the ball. We want to have good possession stats, but are we going to score a goal from it? And we never looked like scoring a goal all game.
Yeah, but you're right. Possession means absolutely nothing. We didn't have a shot on target in the first half. You looked at the Champions League game, PSG versus Liverpool. I think Liverpool had 20-odd% possession. You come away 1-0, and that's all that matters, really. Arne Slot's not going to have sleepless nights because they only got 20-odd% possession in that game. He's going to go to bed with a glass of champagne and a big fat Cuban cigar over the moon with it. Possession means now. Stats mean not a great deal. The only stat that's important is goals for, goals against.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. It was frustrating to watch. I think I popped in our podcast. It just reminded me of the end of the Mogger days. Remember when that was going side to side? There was just nothing about us. We had no ideas. We had nothing there. We had one shot on target all game. That was in the 71st minute. 71 minutes for a shot on target. Someone said to me, "Look, we've made a sub at half time." Yeah, we did. Did it have an impact? No, it didn't. The only impact sub we had was when Bergsall came on the pitch. As soon as he hit the pitch, all of a sudden they were backing off us because he had the freedom and the balls to go up and go, I'm going to run at you. I'm not going to run round you. I'm going to run at you. And they just kept moving for him. And I thought, why has no one else been told to do this? It was so frustrating to watch.
To be honest, Steve, watching on TV, we had that space in the first half, and we could have exploited it, but we just didn't. There was times when we could have made a quick, clinical passing movement to get the ball up to Conway or Whittaker or Ford, but we just didn't do it. They were quite open, really. They were quite open at times, but we just didn't have. We just didn't open them up. I've never looked like doing until Bergsall come on, as you just said.
We were just so slow. I mean, there was times first half and second half where we got the ball in the middle of the park and all the space opened up in front of us to go at the back line. You thought, right, make the choice, make the right one, and we're in. Even Conway made the run to go out wide to pick up the ball, to try and split the centre halves, try and split the back four. Whittaker just followed force until he was took off. I don't even know what he was doing. Giles, that's a whole other conversation I'm going to have. I really am. But the choices we make are so poor. And I just think, where's this come from? You think going in, yes, it was only Stoke and Derby. I fully get that. But 2 wins under your belt, you think, you know what? We got back-to-back wins here. It's time to build on this. It's time to keep going again. And it's just like we just stood still again. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It was so frustrating.
Jacob mentioned earlier, I mean, if you look back over the whole 90 minutes, I know Giles had a poor game, but the defence wasn't to blame for that defeat. It was the fact that we had we give our forward players absolutely nothing to go on, nothing to work with until Bergsall came on and was a bit more creative, a bit more dynamic. Overall, after those 2 wins, yes, against poor teams, and we did say last week, we've won 2 games against 2 poor teams, but we'll get stiffer opposition, and we'll see that tomorrow night against QPR and on Saturday against Luton. So it was a case of go to Swansea, graft like hell, and try and come out of the game with something. But the graft was missing. The graft was missing. The heart of the team. It wasn't there. It just seemed so lily-livered. It was frustrating. Hey, listen, I fully applaud all the Borough fans that spent a whole day getting down there and getting back. I wished I'd have been with you. It was bad enough for me sat in my house in my chair, in my comfortable chair, watching the telly. It was bad enough for me. So I feel for every one of you, and well played, yes, well played. You're the ones that showed real heart on the day.
See, I was fully with you until you said comfortable chair, and I thought, right, I didn't have a comfortable chair all day, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the buses we get supplies, but when you're sitting them for 6-7 hours there and then 6-7 hours back, they do start to feel a bit numb.
Well, why do you think I'm out? Why do you think I'm always on me when I'm fit enough? When I'm always on my feet, up and down. I can't sit down for too
You're the
long.
boss, that's why. Everybody follows you. But no, it was, I mean, fair play to Jason and John that took us down. They were spot on with us all the way there, all the way back. But the first thing I mentioned when we left that, because literally as soon as everyone was on, Jason didn't even look at the police. He went, "I'm going," and he even beeped to say, "Move, I'm going now." I looked at the team bus and I went, "I'd make them all travel back in that." They all flew home. They all flew there, comfortable. What were they doing at 5 o'clock on Saturday morning? I bet they were nice and tucked up. Probably had 9 o'clock alarm, go for a little wander, which I had the luxury. Honestly, I absolutely lost it with them by the time full time had come. I thought, you absolute bunch of bottleless. I can't keep going. But you can get where I'm going with it. You bottle jobs. That's exactly what the word bottle jobs. And I don't appreciate at full time when fair play to the players coming to clap us. I don't appreciate a certain few trying to wear us on and say, "Where's your support?" Shove your support where the sun don't shine. I'm sorry, right? We'd had enough by that point. There was no sorry, there was no nothing. Honestly, I was fuming. I was absolutely fuming. I still am because it hurt. The amount of money we all spent, it hurt.
It does, and that shows how much you care. I mean, I'm really frustrated with social media at the minute because everybody is sticking the boot into butter. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but at the end of the day, if it's your club, don't kick them while they're down. Yeah, we can have a bit of a moan, but bloody hell, some of the things I've seen and some of the things I've read, they really are. It's over the top. Nobody is happy with the current situation, but let's not really go to town on them.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, Borough. I mean, yeah, I saw the stuff underneath when Borough put full time 1-0. I just put a video of our bus, and loads of people watched it, and they all just went, "You know what? Fair play." Our bus was bouncing on the way home. It really was. You wouldn't have thought if I sent you a video of that, it was only 20 seconds. I went, "How do you think we got on Saturday?" Not one person come back and go, "We got beat." Because it's about the people you go with, it's about the people you spend your time with, and that's why I love that bus. I really do. They were just absolutely going for it. Yeah, it was class. It was just such. We got our frustrations out, as you know, John. We get our frustrations out when we get on the bus. First 10 minutes, we go, "Oh, I hate it." Then we just go, "You know what? Sod it."
Yeah, well, that's it. You can't be arguing or discussing or whatever about the game for a 6.5 hour journey home. Yeah, get out your system and then have a drink, listen to music, and just enjoy it. You know, that's what you got to do. Have a sing along, enjoy it.
Exactly. And everybody did. It was a fantastic journey, but it was just, yeah, it was massively frustrating. You just, for me, I mean, season's done. I can't. We can't see anymore.
If we go back to the game, if we go back to the game, you know, I mean, they weren't, like I said, they weren't no great shakes. No, they deserved to win. They deserved to win because we were so poor. And Travis had to be smart on a couple of occasions. We only showed any real threat when Bergso come on. But that's shocking for me.
Yeah, you know, by the way, a caretaker manager as well. I mean, I think some people forget that Swansea don't actually have a permanent manager at the minute, and obviously, I think even on their performance, you could tell that they hadn't had like a full-time manager in it, and they still made us look so ordinary.
Well, yeah,
and you know, going back to the lack of fight thing, you know, even listening to Carrick's interview after the game, which is as painful as ever. You know, how sometimes I wonder how can he motivate a group of players? Yes, he's going to be bitterly disappointed as he usually says. But when BBC T say, well, can you tell us what you think went wrong for all those people that travelled up to the game? And he goes, oh, I don't have time to dissect the game. I mean, you do. You can stand there for more than 3 minutes. You could have given a 7-minute interview if you wanted to. So that's what disappointed me as well. The fact that he kind of just turned away that question and said, "Oh, I don't have time to dissect it." I mean, that's literally what post-match interviews for. And again, I think we have got a group of players where they need a manager that's on them all the time. That they do get complacent. They seem like a complacent bunch, and sometimes I feel we haven't got that manager where he's constantly on them, and I think we've seen too many performances like that now, where it's almost we've just went through the motions, and when really they need a rocket up the backside, and sometimes I don't feel like he gives them that.
Yeah, I mean, we've got everything to fight for. A win on Saturday would have sort of kept us even closer to the top 6.
Yeah,
there's a lot at stake. I mean, you look at the fight in Coventry. You look at the fight in Coventry City at the moment. The run they're on. Saturday's game. They get pegged back to 2-2, 86 minutes. Yet they still had the fight in them to push on and score in the 97th minute to extend a fantastic winning run they're on. Now, I look at that and I think, would Butter have done that? Would we, if we'd have conceded at 86, still had the fight in our bellies to go up that pitch and try and win the game?
No.
I think we can all answer that we would probably defend the 2-2 and sort of like hope that we don't get beat. And that's the difference. On Saturday, we weren't far behind Coventry in the table. We're a further 3 points behind now because they showed spirit, they showed fight and determination, and we were weak and aimless in our play. It was so disappointing and I'll let you lads talk.
And I think Coventry have shown what taking a brave decision can do. They could have stuck with Mark Robbins for a little bit longer and said, you've got credit in the bank. A lot of people said it was harsh, which it could have been. And they made that choice, and fair play to them. It looks as if it's gonna come off because Lampard's doing a brilliant job. Yeah,
I mean, who apart from the Coventry fans who were astounded by the move, who else thought it was a strange decision? I certainly did. I didn't see Mark Robbins getting the boot, and from reading social media, I think a lot of the Championship fans from different clubs were really surprised by the move. But like you say, Jacob, it's paid off for them, and he's got them. He's got them on a hell of a run. Is it 9 wins in the last 10 games?
Yeah, and the only defeat was to Leeds as well, which is obviously no embarrassment.
No, that's it. Yeah, I mean, but you know what? I still believe that we have got quality players in our squad.
Yeah,
but we just don't have any. We don't have any guts. We don't have any fight. I've said this time and time again, but I want to say that. And I always think if it was to come down to it, and we got into the top 6, it would probably end up as dull as it was under Tony Pulis when we had 1-0 Aston Villa beat us at home and then 0-0 at their place, and that they were 2 terrible games that we hardly put up. We didn't lay a glove on them apart from down and hitting the crossbar. Yeah. I'm sorry. If you want success, it's not just about players' quality. It's about players' attitude. It's about players' desire, and it's just something that I can't see in us at the minute. I hate to be despondent for those who were listening to this, but I'm just giving you my opinion.
No, it's good. It's good to hear. People are used to trying to find the positives. In fact, at the moment we are struggling. We are. I mean, it's isn't like you say. It's not about quality anymore. It's about mentality. If you haven't got the right mentality, you're nowhere near. You can have as much quality as you want. It doesn't matter how much quality you have. If you haven't got the purpose and the drive and everything about you behind you to do it, what's the point? You could be You could be a master at your own job. You can't be bothered that day. You'd be no good. And that's how it is at the moment. Unfortunately, the squad was supposed to be good enough for top 6, maybe top 2. Nowhere near it.
I mean, again, it's like people. These just things aren't. They're just not a one-off anymore. It's not a blip. This is like I'd struggled to pick out in the last 20 games where you felt Middlesbrough turned up and put in a full 90-minute performance. From start to end, had some grit about them, played with some quality. They do it in spells, but I haven't seen a 90-minute performance for a long time. And I think, what are we now? Five wins in 19 or something. This is a definitely a failure of not getting the best out of what we've got. Because I think when we go on a bad run, I think what we're very good at is then going, well, the team's rubbish. The team's not good enough. That team is not rubbish. It's definitely not 5 wins in 19 rubbish. So I definitely think we're underachieving still, and it's disappointing. And this is something, unless again like something changes drastically. That's the issue for me, is that I'm not seeing enough signs to believe that this is going to change.
No, me neither. Unfortunately, I think it's get through the next 10 games and let's see what the summer brings. But it was said in the comments earlier, and I remember him saying it. Kieran Scott said top 6 this year or it's failure.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, we are at the point now where it is.
And how many points are we behind Sunderland? Is it 20? Is it over 20 points or something now? Where it's a ridiculous amount of points.
18
18 points behind Sunderland, and there's no way their team is 18 points better than Middlesbrough's. No way.
No.
And at the beginning of the season, if you went right, we're 10 games to play, the Mackhams are going to be 18 points above you. It's so disappointing, and it feels again like we've had the squad there at times, and if we've again in my head, it feels like we've blown another opportunity. I know it's still possible points wise, but the way we're playing is it would certainly shock me if we did arrive in the playoffs.
Yeah, I said on Saturday after that result, I said, it feels like a really wasted opportunity because some results went our way. We could have sort of gained ground towards the top 6, but we didn't deserve anything from Saturday. We didn't deserve anything.
Yeah. And that's what disappoints you the most, isn't it? When you see we were still well in the playoff race Saturday, and to put in a performance like that where, like Steve said, where it felt like a bit of a dead rubber end of season, last game of the season kind of thing. For that to be Borough's, under pressure kind of, got something to play for performance, it's so disappointing.
It really was. I mean, like you said, you start obviously you're checking the form for your scores, whatever bet you've got on, things like that, see what's going on around you. Fair enough, Coventry won, but Watford dropped points. Blackburn were getting beat 2-0 early on.
Bristol City
were getting beat at the time. Before João Pedro had probably the maddest minute of his life.
Norwich dropped points.
Norwich dropped points on Friday night.
Blackburn got beat to Derby.
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, West Brom won, but I just felt
West Brom's next 2 games are quite difficult. I think they've got Burnley, and who is it? I think it's Burnley and Norwich. Is it Burnley and Norwich? Anyway, their next 2 games before the international break are quite difficult. Whereas we've got QPR at home, who on current form are level with us 6 points in 6 games or something. and then we've got Luton second bottom. You know, the opportunity is still there. And you know what? My heart's ruling my head here. The opportunity is still there if we get 6 points. But we had a massive opportunity Saturday. And we went into it half-hearted. And, you know, I understand why some managers go absolutely crazy and start flinging things around the room. I can't see Carrick being that type manager. But I would have done in that dressing room. I'd have been absolutely furious with the performance we put in Saturday.
Same. Couldn't agree more with you. I say, I know. I was saying on the way down, Coventry. I know they've got Derby tomorrow night, but after that they've got Sunderland, Burnley, and Sheffield United all in a row.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know we've got difficult games coming up. We've got Coventry away, we've got Blackburn away, we've got Leeds at home, and Millwall away. But we got ourselves back in the race with two wins, not sparkling performances by any stretch of the imagination. And it didn't need a sparkling performance on Saturday to beat a poor Swansea team, but we just didn't put any performance in. And that's the frustrating bit. We just needed to show a bit more desire to win that game, to get something out of it. But there was nothing there. Nothing there.
No. I felt one. We got one against them. We could have got a couple. I just felt like that's the type of team we were playing, but unfortunately, we just didn't have the desire or the will to even get one. And it just hurt so much. There's people on that bus that do more away games than I do, have done more miles than I have this season, and you know they're probably thinking, "Well, we've seen this all season." Doesn't make it any better. It just doesn't make it any better. I was sat really hurt on Saturday night coming home. I mean, so much to the point I put a bottle of Jaeger down my neck in half an hour. So, but you know, not recommended.
Yeah, it's not big, it's not clever, but sometimes it takes your mind off things, doesn't it?
It does. It numbs the pain, but it's when the realism hits, it's awful. It's horrible. It's, you know, I know people are like, yeah, but you chose to support them. Yeah, but I also chose to support them in November when we were 6-2 winners at Oxford.
Yeah. It's funny, Steve. Yeah, on my screen there, I can see you down the bottle of Jaeger in half an hour, and next to you is Jacob, who doesn't touch a drop. Chalk and cheese. It's sometimes like our performances this season.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, yeah. I mean, someone just said there, it says it's Sharon saying it, but I'm pretty sure Neil's right in this. No, you weren't. You were smashed. No sad on your face, just blurry eyes. You know what? Absolutely right. I couldn't see in front of me. You're absolutely right. I couldn't. Still hurts. Yeah. It was just a bad day. Great day with some great people, but 90 minutes absolutely ruined it. Unfortunately, for me, that's season over. We won't get out of this division anytime soon.
Well, Steve, like I said to Alex, you know, my heart rules my head in this. And if we get 2 wins, we're back in it. The other teams above us have got tougher games than us. We just I hope we bounce back from the terrible performance on Saturday. And if we get 6 points, let's see. Let's just see. Never give in.
I'll let you do the campaign on that. I know I said I'd piggyback you up Wembley way if I really had to, but I feel like I'll be saving myself on that one. You know, you never know.
I'll be honest with you. My head says you're right, but I'm going to go with my heart in this one. I'm going to
leave the wheelchair at home.
Hold out hope.
I'll take you down that Wembley mile. Right, too right. I will. Let's get one positive though. Let's get one positive out of the game for a lad that no one rated even a month ago. Best player on that pitch for me. I'm going early around the match, by the way. Best player by a mile on that pitch for me was Neto Borges. I know he didn't close down for the goal. I fully get that bit. I thought he did everything else perfectly. For a player that doesn't play centre half and didn't look the most comfortable when you first started doing it on last Saturday against Derby. He slotted in perfectly, and he had the shoulders on him to take the responsibility and say, you know what, I can push on with this. You know, I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was absolutely superb. I don't know what you thought, lads.
No, he did. He made some big blocks, especially in the second half. I think there was a cross that got put in with about 15 minutes left, and they could have got on the end of it and put it away. And he made a big block to prevent that from being 2-0. But yeah, on the whole, as me and John said, the defence wasn't the issue on the whole in the game, and if Rav Vandenberg was in instead of Borges, we'd have still lost 1-0. So Borges, I thought was did a pretty good job at centre back, considering obviously he's a left back. So yeah, good performance.
Yeah, really
yeah, he did. He played well, and I would give him man of the match purely and simply because he was out of position. He filled in, done a good job. I thought Travis was the pick of the bunch with the work he had to do. But just because it was an unusual position for Borges to play, I thought he handled it well. So I'll give him man of the match.
Are you going with that one, Jacob, as well?
No, I'll go Travers. Just to mix it up a bit. Both played well. A bit of favouritism being a goalie. So we'll go Travers.
Yeah, okay. Not like you would disagree with us, though. But yeah, okay. But another positive, if apart from Dale Fry obviously going off injured, which leaves us with no centre halves, by the way, at all, because even Harley Hunt's injured. He's suffered a setback. Johnny Howson was back on the pitch. And me getting excited about a 36-year-old Johnny Howson coming back on the pitch, I never thought I'd see the day. But I was absolutely delighted because I thought, you know what? He's got a bit of mouth on him. He's got a bit of leadership on him. And we've missed that so much.
Yeah.
And I was so delighted he was back.
Well, the one thing we've got to do now is for the next game, if Howson and Borges continue as the centre-backs, is we've got to prevent high balls coming into the box, because obviously we haven't got the lighthouse there or any other natural centre half to clear aerial threats. So we've got to be a bit tighter in our closing down, and we've got to prevent QPR from putting balls into the box with them two as our centre half pair.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. So we've got to go on the front foot. We're the home team tomorrow night. We have to go on the front foot. But before I preview tomorrow night's game, obviously we did put the question out. One player you pick and put in that team, past to present, for the next 10 games. I'll start with you, John, because you posed the question. And obviously you got some more responses as well. A lot of reaction from it. I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoke at length over the coming months. I like my teams to be tough, hard working, honest, tough, never give up. And if I could choose a player to come in and help this team out for the last 10 games, it would be Robbie Mustoe for me, because he was brilliant. There's lots I'll go through that I'll go through people's replies on Twitter, but it's funny how the majority of the choices are all of a similar type of player. I said Robbie Mustoe because he worked all day long. He puts himself about, and he was a goal scoring midfielder. He was excellent, and I'd love to see him back. But I mean, I'll just go from top to bottom what I've got. One lad says Gareth Southgate.
Is that what he's called? One lad. Great name.
Yeah, Aiden, yeah. Not, yes, Adam. Anyway, not Aiden. Can't read my phone. Right, shall we start again?
One lad.
Yeah, cut this out. Yeah, Adam goes for Gareth Southgate. Anti-globalist pro goes for Barry Robson. So you can see that the characters that have been chosen are leadership characters. The next one is Uwe Fuchs, because obviously I think Uwe got 9 goals in 13, and he was a big battering ram up front.
Ian McIntosh has gone for that one. Uwe Fuchs, yeah.
Yeah, Jace has gone for Tony Mowbray, Eddie Hebron, Janino, Vicky, Schubert Akpom. We need his passion right now. James, 16 MMA, is Gaza.
Are you reading this
Paul
stats out?
Merson. Say that
James,
again.
16, MMA.
Yeah.
Was that his stats?
Shut up. Are you still on the Jaeger there? You're still on the Jaeger. Anyway, names that come up: Pogatetz again, Uwe Fuchs, again, Mark Viduka, Phil Whelan, and somebody's I think just thrown that in for the comedy value. Another one for the comedy value: Willow Flood. Anybody remember him? Yeah. Marco Branca or Uwe Fuchs, and I think that's obviously for the impact they had in the short spell at the Borough. Mark Viduka again, Mogger, Graham Souness, Fuchs, Ledbetter, Brian Robson, Mogger, Pearson or Southgate. It all seems to stem around tough players, natural leaders. It seems that everybody's agreeing that that's something that we're currently missing. I'll go back on again. Frank Kadru, Boateng or Fester, George Boateng, Viduka, Mogger, Big Wheats. No, he hasn't replied. Somebody suggested Big Wheats. Another one for Uwe Fuchs. Gaz Southgate, Paul Ince. But you get the gist, Sounders. You get the gist. I think most people recognise that we need somebody who can take control of the game, direct the team, lead the team forward, lead by example. So it was just a question. I was sat at home with my leg up in the air, twiddling my thumbs, and I thought I'd put it out there. It's had a great response. Have you had any? Are you all right, Steve?
With me leg up in the air.
Well, elevated, I've got to keep it up. That's what I meant. I wasn't sort of doing any sort of gymnastics.
I was going to say.
Has there been any response today from Facebook regarding the question?
Billy Ashcroft, Alfie Wood, Archie Stevens. Someone's put 6'2", eyes are blue. Who do you think they're talking about? Stewie Ball.
Yeah.
They're all coming up with the same names. And you're exactly right. It's all the same sort of character. Bit of balls about them, a bit of grit, a bit of needle, a bit of leadership.
I mean, when he started this season, that's what Aidan Morris looked like. He wasn't afraid to mix it. But not just him, but everybody else collectively. We've all sort of gone off the boil, haven't we? I know confidence plays a part, but yeah, I don't know. God, I wish we had some of them players that I've just read out there to try and get us back on track. But anyway, yeah, decent question, good answer. So thank you to everybody for giving us the thought.
Absolutely. Your Mick's just come and put defo, not Hackney. That wasn't the question, Mick. Great answer though. Jacob, your answer?
It's actually quite fortunate. Mine actually hasn't been took. I'd thought about this because I'd seen it on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. So I picked Clayton, Adam Clayton, and I know And I certainly don't think we'd have conceded that goal if Adam Clayton was on the pitch, because he'd have probably been rugby tackled by the time he'd managed to lift his boot up the shoe. So from the Borough I've watched, I always thought Clayton, he didn't mess about, and yes, he didn't always play, but he definitely was a big influence, and he was a leader on the pitch.
Well, our last successful team, really, included Clayton, Forshaw, Leadbitter. They were all key players in that promotion team, and they had plenty of fight. Adam Clayton had plenty of balls. I think we all saw that, didn't we?
Southern away, yes, we did.
I mean, do you remember that? Do you remember that incident where was it Clayton? He headed the ball off the line or something. Was that against Leicester? He was laid in the net and he was heading the ball.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, Sheffield. He was pushing the scrum out the goal, wasn't he? He was pushing the scrum, and that's what I'm saying. For all that, where like obviously I know that was with Pulis and people used, but we don't even have that kind of unity, do we now? Where you imagine this Borough team scrummed on the goal line in the 95th minute to protect a lead, pushing each other out the goal. You just wouldn't see it, would you?
Who was that against? I said Leicester. Was that wrong? Was it?
Chef Wed.
Right, yeah. I just remember it because it was quite comical. But like you say, it was that showed the determination, to prevent the ball from crossing the line. It was fantastic to see, and yeah, Clayton was amongst that scrum.
He was. He was the one giving it the shove at the back. He was in front of him. Players like Flint were in front of him, all laid out, all across each other. And there's Adam Clayton just doing his best impression of "Look, I'm trying, lads. Look, I'm trying," and it worked. Mine hasn't been said. I don't think mine's been said.
Well, I didn't read them all out, but you tell me yours. I'll tell you if I
Anybody said Pogatet?
Yes, there was.
Oh well, there you go. Someone said that.
Yeah, there was one said Mad Dog. Yeah. If you look on X tonight and just scroll down, there was plenty of replies. I just didn't want to just start doing a list. People would have switched off.
Well, I mean, the fact you started with one lad said, I mean, that's a great start. And then poor Jason, we all know he's 16, likes MMA, so there's another one. But no, it was a really good response. Yeah, we did really well with that. But yeah, Mad Dog wouldn't have took any of the rubbish that we're doing at the moment. I mean, this is Mad Dog that dragged my hero, Gareth Southgate, through games. The guy was a nutter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even Big Wheater was mentioned there. Again, another local lad, played with his heart in his sleeve, full-blooded. Yeah, that's what we need. We need some individual and team performances just like that.
We do. I mean, Ian's just said there, Super Cooper. Yeah, Colin Cooper. There's another one I'd have put in as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
George Bullcan, there's another one.
Yeah, he was prepared to put himself anywhere. It wasn't even in goal. Cooper.
He was absolute warrior, that man. I met him when I was like 8 years old. What a guy. Yeah, one of my heroes watching Borough. Obviously Southgate for obvious reasons, but Colin Cooper was class. He was just absolutely class. I think he did every job at the Borough, didn't he?
Yeah, probably.
He literally did every job apart from being the cleaner. So fair play to him. But you mentioned all them players. You mentioned all that. All them good memories, all that heart, desire, passion, everything he wants. Can we just have a little bit of that for tomorrow night? A little bit of that. Because for me, John, that's exactly what we need to get through this QPR team. I'm not saying they're brilliant. I'm not saying they're fantastic. But they're going to come up here with a bit of something about them. Because they'll be thinking, well, we want to finish the season off as well as we hope to do.
Yeah, well,
it's going to be a tough test.
We thumped them down their place. They might want a little bit of revenge, Yeah. So, and they're all professional footballers. To me, no game should really be a dead rubber. You're getting paid. Your fans have paid a fortune to travel up to Teesside on a Tuesday night. Yeah, you shouldn't see anything as being a dead rubber. No, that's being disrespectful.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Well, there's another one. Terry Cochran, great name that. They're flying through still. And Nigel Pearson, I know someone mentioned that, but Big Nigel would have done a job. What a player he was as well. So, Jacob, what are you expecting from tomorrow night?
A tough game. I think they haven't been on. They are like the epitome of a team that goes through spells. When they're good, they are good, and when they're bad, they're really bad. They've had like a really mixed season. I think they won like 2 out of the first 16, and then after we beat them 4-1, I think it was in the away match, they went on like a really good run. So that they've got it within them. Cifuentes seems like a decent manager for the team he's got. He seems to always perform okay. One thing that worries me is the big lad up front, that Mickey Fry, and Jimmy Dunn and people like that at the back, especially as John said with balls in the box. I'm if I was the QPR manager, that would be my game plan, to put the ball in the box to that Mickey Fry. With Howson and Borges in there. I'd like to see a bit more of a pragmatic performance from Borough. I think it's what I don't. I don't think we should be playing out from the back. With Borges and Howson. Let's get it up, play in their half, win the battle, and then hopefully get it down and play some football. But no, I think it'll be a tough game, and obviously again, we got past a tragic Stokes team, a very very poor Derby team. And, as we said after that, we've got to lift the performance. I'm sick of saying it. But again, if we want to get 3 points against anyone at the minute, we have got to raise our game by 20%. Easy.
Yeah. Ian's just put there, you said when they're good, they're really good. When they're bad, they're really bad. You just described Borough. You absolutely just described Borough. That's exactly what we've got no middle ground. But, John, can you put any more meat on the bone of that? I think he's at the nail on the head.
Yeah, they had a run of games and a run of results that took them close to us. They weren't too far behind us at one point, but recently they've dropped off. Like I say, they sit with us in the current form table of 6 points out of the last 6 games, something like that. So yeah. It's what we do. Honestly, I think it's what we do. If we show some real fight and desire, then we can win. If we put in the effort that we did on Saturday, or should I say lack of, then it'll be a tough game for us. But I want to see us win. I want to see us win purely and simply because I don't want it to be another awful home performance, because we've seen far too many of them this season.
Yeah, I say it's we don't deserve that anymore. I mean, we don't deserve it in the first place, but you get what I mean. I've just been having a look at QPR's form. They said they were quite unlucky on Saturday against West Brom. They should have got a point really. They've had a tough run of events. Not greatest away from home. We all know what that means. But they're going to come up here and probably do a job. But with that being said, prediction time. Time to put our heads back on the chopping line. Chopping board. Chopping line? Who puts it on a chopping line? I'll start with you, John. Score prediction tomorrow night.
2-1 Borough. Tommy Conway.
Lovely. Jacob, come to you.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to say 2-1 QPR.
He's been a good guest.
We need a goal scorer. Yeah, I'm going to go with a big lad up front, Fry. Mickey Fry.
I'm not putting that on. No, I'm going to have to. It's what you predict. It's what you predict. I'm going 0-0.
0-0?
I'm going 0-0.
Wow.
We couldn't hit a barn door with it wide open Saturday. I don't expect it to get any better.
That's going to draw the crowd, Steve.
I see what you did there. Buy a ticket for a 0-0. Yeah, I can sell ice to the Eskimos, mate. 0-0. Sorry, I can't. Yeah. He just put 3-1 Borough, 3 penalties. You'd more look at him was with a penalty. Half-time penalties are more than that.
He's put his head on the chopping line, hasn't he?
Yeah, that chopping line is going to have a few heads on it. And while we're here, I won't ask for a scorer because we don't know who the team's going to be on Saturday, but we go to Luton. Start with you, Jacob. Score prediction at Kenilworth Road.
1-0 Luton.
You're an absolute joy, you. John, come with you.
2-0 Borough.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-0 Borough.
6 points and then we're back in it.
I'll go 1-0 Borough on Saturday. 4 points from this week. I think that'll be about right. And if you want a nice positive way to end this, in the reverse fixtures, we scored 4 against QPR, 5 against Luton, and then 6 against Oxford. There's our next 3. So there you go. There's your positive. There's your glimmer of hope if you need it. Yeah, and Sean Boyce can tell you now how fat centre forward won't score. Brilliant.
I'll say to you now, Steve, if we score 15 goals in the next 3 games, I'll buy you and Jacob season ticket.
There you go. That's recorded and on the internet and everything. Come on, Borough. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. And that being said, on that positive note, we'll end it there. John, another week of recuperation. Keep going. You never know. I'll be piggybacking you up Wembley way in no time.
Fingers crossed.
Jacob, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Have a good week. I'll see you again next Monday. And to you lovely people who's put up with us for an hour, who like our stuff, comment, subscribe, get involved. Thank you so much. Arrivederci. Up the Borough. We'll have a chat next week. 6 points on the way. You heard it from them. Well, one of us. Not all of us. Ta-da.
Up the Borough.